Hi everyone, today we're going to start off with a story, and I want to let you know how my week has been going so you know where I've been coming from. And we'll start off talking about just what I've experienced through the fall bite. It hasn't been good for me. I haven't caught the numbers of fish or the size of fish that I've wanted. And you know, on top of that, I've got guys like Rob sending me pictures of the big fish that he's been catching, and it's just been a pretty tough fall for me. You can imagine my ego is not at an all-time high right now, but you know, I'm putting one foot in front of the other and trying to work through this these tough times out here. With that being said, we'll go back about a week, and you've heard me talk about I've got things planned for the for videos for In Deep throughout the winter. And one of the videos that I'm going to be doing is a video on crawdads and crawdad fishing. Almost more on crawdads themselves than the fishing, but I'm trying to compile all the information I can about crawdads, and I'm running through the internet, and one of the things I see is an advertisement for Bob's Bait in Isleton, and they advertise themselves as still having live crawdads, and as far as I know, they're the only place on the Delta that sells live crawdads for bait, and they've been in business for 30 or 40 years. I'm thinking, I got to call this guy and maybe see if I can't go down and get an interview with him, you know, see what's going on down there. So I Google up Bob's Bait, and you can't make stuff like this up. This is what I pull up. Yep. Bob's Bait, the masturbator. I'm thinking, yeah, this is it here. You have to call this guy. This is the golden ticket. This video is going viral. I'm all fired up. I guess I got to call Bob and get him to do an interview. So get his number, call the shop. I get a hold of, I guess it's Bob, it's the proprietor, and we're talking, and seems like a pretty nice guy, and I'm thinking, you know, this is it. This is gonna. I'm really jazzed up. Say, Bob, how about I come down and we talk. I'll do a little video. You can talk about, you know, your shop. You can give us all the information that you have on crawdads. It'll be great, you know. And I'm thinking I'm really jazzed up. And let's just say I started this YouTube thing about 2 years ago. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that I would be turned down to do a video from a guy named Bob the Masturbator. But it happened. So we won't be talking to Bob in my crawdad video, and I think this could be an all-time low, at least for In Deep on the Delta, and it is definitely not helping my my ego. So with that, I'll just say, you know, this is a good time to ask you guys to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and, you know, hey, send me a comment. Even, you know, I'm a simple guy. It doesn't have to be a lot. Steve, this was a crappy report. I mean, you're starting to really bother me. I'll see you next week. That's all I need. That'll make me happy. Okay, with that, give me just a second to compose myself so I can get in the mood to do the Delta fishing report, and we'll go from there. Just give me a second. Bob's Bait. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. You're watching In Deep on the Delta. This is the report for the week of December 8th. We'll start off with a little river news, and I may be a little late on this news, but Brandon Island Launch Ramp is open. I know they were closed through the summer. I think they opened about a week or two ago. So those of you who are launching in the out around Brandon Island, the launch ramp is open. How about spraying? You'll still see a few of the boats out here, a few of the state boats that are running around the Delta, but the spraying season is over. They will be doing no more spraying. The people that are out here are biologists, so they're inspecting the vegetation, starting to, you know, formulate how their season went and what they're going to do next year. The sprayers will be out next spring again. So with that, No more spraying, Brandon. Hey, there's a place down in Isleton, Bob's Bait. He has live crayfish, and I know a lot of you guys that are fishing out that area. If you're looking for live bait, I think Bob is the only guy that carries crayfish nowadays. So make sure you go down to Bob's Bait in Isleton and get your fresh crayfish. On a up note, I want to let you guys know that Ross England from up at Clear Lake, Clear Lake Guide Service, Ross has agreed to work with me on the Delta report here, or feed me information from Clear Lake as it comes in. So I will be working with Ross, and Ross will let me know, when the bite goes on up there. And again, I can maybe shuttle some of you guys from the Delta up there if Clear Lake is outperforming the Delta. So I talked to Ross this week, and the fishing up there right now is not worth going up there. Whether cat fishing, crappie fishing, bass fishing, nothing's going on at Clear Lake right now either. So, but what I did talk to Ross about is the level of the lake. I wanted to know how it's looking after the last couple of rains. Ross said the lake level has risen about 1.5 inches, which is not a lot, but what he is hopeful for is, he's saying a lot of the smaller creeks like Kelsey Creek that have been dry for months, at least they have standing water in them right now. They're not pushing a lot of water into Clear Lake, but they have water in the creek that's standing. So he's hoping that as the winter comes along and we get some rain, if we get some rain, that water will actually start to help raise the water level, at least somewhat dramatically, not just 1 inch at a time. Maybe we'll get 2, 3, 4 inches as we get these rainstorms come in. So with that, we'll be talking to Ross, like I said, once a week, once every couple weeks, see what's going on up at Clear Lake. Let's get right into the Delta report. And things haven't changed a whole lot as far as water conditions up here go. We have had some rain. Water clarity is about the same as it's been. It's from 4 to 6 or 8, 10 feet. Great water clarity. The temperature has dropped a little bit. We're seeing steady temperatures below 50 degrees. The other day I was out, I saw a 47 degree temperature in the morning. Most of the reports are saying around 48 degrees. So we're talking 48 to 50 degrees. We are in wintertime conditions here, and for those of you that think that you're still trying to eke out that fall bite, I would put that on the back burner until next year and just think that you're going to be coming out here and doing some kind of grinding type fishing through the winter, just kind of surviving until next spring. And by the way, I did upload a video on winter fishing. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you check that out. Okay, how are the stripers going? Not great. Not a lot of people out here. There's not a lot of pressure. I know the people that are fishing around Stockton area, they're throwing cut bait. They're off the bank. They're still catching fish out here, but they're putting in their time. And they're not sport fishing. They're coming out and they're fishing through a couple of tides, and they're catching smaller fish, from the 18 to 22 inch size range, and they're bringing home fish for dinner. Most of the fish are still out west, and I know I keep saying this, but there are a ton of fish in Sassoon. There's a ton of fish up at Grizzly, and they will be coming into the system. I talked to Alan Fong. Alan's key for having the stripers make that run is water below 50 degrees and rain. So we have the under 50 degree water temperatures now, and we are predicted to get more rain. I think Saturday 95% chance of rain, Sunday 65% chance of rain. So depending on how much it rains, if that water starts flushing those fish from Sassoon and Montezuma, they can come in real quick. So you guys, striper fanatics, you have to be on standby for the Delta. I know most of you guys, if you are striper fanatics, you're fishing way out west, but I would heed Alan's words, and if we get some rain in and it flushes that system, the bigger fish will be coming into the Delta. I did get a chance to talk to Jeff Suhu this week, but I know from the guys that I am in contact with that are out here through the storms and everything, they're still catching stripers. I think the best if you're coming out this weekend, I'd probably stay off the water Saturday. They're predicting not only 95% rain, but about 20-mile-an-hour winds. Friday will be a good day to get out here. Sunday you might get rained on. Next week they had the precipitation I haven't looked at it real close, but I think we're going to have a pretty decent week next week. But if you're out here, I would suggest trolling Atlas rigs. That's been pretty standard. Everybody's catching fish on Atlas rigs, or live bait, drifting live bait, either mudsuckers or shiners, whatever you can get. But all in all, not a lot of talk going on about the stripers. Same with the largemouth bass. Probably even less talk. And I have been in contact with the shops, Outdoor Sportsman and Hook, Line, and Sinker. They're not getting a whole lot of reports. Really low pressure out here. The bass fishermen, the weather patterns right now, as far as I can tell, have not affected the bass a whole lot. It was slow before the patterns came in, and it's slow right now. What I'm talking about today, by the time the weekend comes and we get that storm passed through Saturday and Sunday, next week's going to be a whole different ball game. So I'll just tell you, the guys that are out here right now are catching fish, largemouth bass, on jerk baits and worms. So I'll be out Friday, tomorrow, and I'm going to really concentrate on jerkbait and worms. Next week I'll start to put a different pattern together, hopefully put a different pattern together, because river conditions will have changed so much, hopefully with the rain. So with that, if you're coming out next week, this is my suggestion for largemouth bass. Put on 2 or 3 jerkbaits, different sizes, different colors. Work them slowly, long pauses in between the twitches. If you find fish, stop, throw out a drop shot, throw out a some type of jig or slow-moving bottom-bouncing bait. The fish are schooling up as that water comes in, especially if it dirties up if we get a little bit of stain to the clarity here. I think it's going to pack those fish even tighter. So if you happen to start catching fish on a point or a tule bank or a rock bank on jerk baits, stop and fish it slowly in that area, because you'll probably get some more fish. So with that, we'll see what goes on next week. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe. And I promise you, I will be working through this little lull in my fishing experience out here, and we're going to get back on track. It may take a little while coming through the winter months, but we're going to be giving it a try, and I'll make sure I get the best information that I can through the winter for you guys. So keep watching. I'll see you guys on the river.